Yo, it's your boy Logos. And yesterday I reacted to Auburn Preacher's video discussing Asmongold and Hasan in their comments. I have that link down below if you want to check it out. I did a lot of pausing, a lot of discussion and commentary on it because I watch Asmongold. I'm a fan of Asmongold, but that doesn't mean the stuff that he said wasn't fucking stupid. It was blatantly stupid. And I think it was more ridiculous for me because I watch Asmongold, so I know that he takes breaks from streaming often. I know that his schedule isn't consistent. I know that he doesn't monetize his second channel, and he has the freedom to do so because he makes so much money from YouTube and from his other organizations, like his game and computer organization or company, and also his like video game creating company. So the whole idea of him saying that streaming is harder than a regular job, it's just flat out stupid. He he blatantly and repeatedly does things that you can't get away with at a regular job, like not showering, not giving a fuck about your appearance, and like I said, multiple breaks, random times of starting, showing up late or not showing up at all. Just flat out inconsistency, which is fine because he's a streamer. That's the point. He's a streamer. That's one of the few jobs that does have that freedom and flexibility. I don't know why he can't get that through his head. I don't know why he want to die on this hill for Hasan because what Hasan said was stupid, and backing him up is just flat out stupid. Fan or not, it's bullshit. But I want to see their response to it. Knowing Asmongold, it could either go two ways. He gonna double down and say more stupid shit, or he'll say, "Okay, you're right about this, this, and that, and you're right. I might have said something stupid and messed up, or you might have like misconstrued what I thought, or something like that." Either way, this is just flat out ridiculous. But let's get into it.
All right. Some of our favorite streamers are doubling down on the streaming is socially draining more than regular jobs. Blah, blah, blah. Hasan's unhappy.
I canceled on Twitter again, obviously,
really?
as always.
Oh, fuck.
This time it was for me saying that I run out of my social battery after 9.5 hours of streaming in a way that like a real job doesn't.
You like a clone,
and everyone immediately like
he must guy. Oh yeah, he shaved. That's why I'm like, why the fuck he look like that? He look like a clone or some like person took his place. He don't even. Oh yeah, I really don't listen to him that much. But yeah, he didn't look the same. But yeah, he shaved his beard apparently. Probably like a $500, haircut, trimming up. His family rich, a rich ass socialist. A socialist in $1 million home. A socialist that drives a Porsche. Dumbasses. I don't know who the fuck watches this, man.
I had a real job, dumbass.
I did. I worked in sales, so it was like a very social job as well. So I know exactly what like people pleasing looks like, and it's like annoying and awful, right? So I was making a comparison between like my experience as a salesperson versus my experience as a Twitch streamer, and I was like, it's so soul sucking, like it's so soul crushing, and
soul crushing.
Socialize after that,
like he's going to war and he has to kill people or fight people he don't want to fight. Like seriously, stop. Soul crushing because you stream. And half the time your ass walking away and letting somebody else's content play anyway without any commentary or worthwhile input. Shut the fuck up.
and I feel so bad because I was talking about going to March's house. March at a housewarming party. None of you guys were invited because you're not cool.
I was invited and I didn't remember until yesterday.
I was there, right? And I brought Kaya and she was being the best girl, but I also felt like I was looking like an asshole to every single person because I was like pouting the whole time. I'm really fucking tired. I take one drink with
it's always
March.
the Hasan show.
I take one drink with, and I was like, I have to get the fuck out of here. Like I'm so tired.
You got hungover immediately?
Yeah, I think it's because like I'm fucking tired after 9.5 hours of streaming, right? They clipped it like,
well, people wake up at 4 a.m. to get to their job at 5 a.m. to then work a 12 or 14-hour shift depending on their job, if it's construction or anything else that's very labor intensive. Like seriously, piss off. Piss the fuck off. There are many men out here that does much more tougher, harder, laborious jobs and then go home to their families or even sometimes go to a second job. One of the jobs I had years and years ago, I was working out in the sun, hot as fuck in the middle of the summer, and one of the guys I was working with, who was clearly tired and drained as fuck because he was working with me, digging in the dirt and working on lawn care all day, but he had to go to his second job after because I think he had a kid or something. So he had to make sure his kids were taken care of. He can't just have the luxury of saying, fuck this, I can't handle it, it's too draining, I need a break. No, he don't have that option. But Son has an option because he made so much money from streaming YouTube and his family's loaded. So once again, shut the hell up.
like 30 seconds of it to be like, Hasan, streamer says, dumb socialist streamer says like fucking real jobs are way easier than streaming. And it's like, that's not what I was saying. Here's the fucking context. Nobody gives a shit. There's like hundreds of thousands of fucking likes. Led me to actually delete Twitter.
What?
I deleted Twitter from my phone. Yeah. It's really important.
You say stupid shit, you get mad when people call you out on it, and since they're not in your chat, you can't just ban them and say they're wrong like a pussy like you usually do. So you had to get off Twitter. Of course that's what you did. It's it falls right in line with your previous behavior.
For me to have Twitter on my phone for my job. Obviously, I need to like constantly be fucking up to date on what the fuck's going on in the world. But I feel like at this point, it's just not worth it.
The world would be
so-
fine without your dumbass political
Like,
takes.
being on Twitter
It's
and
hell in
being
a cell.
extremely online
Yeah.
is literally like being in a room where you're making the dumbest people on the fucking planet yell at you nonstop.
And so you're not using Twitter ever again.
No, I
No,
will-
he just took
He'll
it
use
off
it.
his phone.
He'll use it.
If it's the dumbest people on the planet yelling at him, I don't know. I think you would have some, commonality or some relatability with those dumbest people on the planet with the stuff that you say and the stuff that you support, including this controversy. But sure, it's only the dumbest people on the planet that have an issue with what you said, not everybody else.
on his PC.
Yeah, because I need to have it for my work, but yeah, I'm not gonna because I was like looking at it and it was like fucking me up.
Well, yeah, you were up really late last night.
No, I went to
Put
sleep
your
at, like,
fucking
11,
phone
and I just
down.
woke up at 4 and I was like going through Twitter and I was just like, fuck this, dude.
That's your own
Like,
fault.
what the fuck am I doing? I deleted it.
Good for you.
Yeah.
This is a positive step in your mental health.
Yeah.
Sometimes I wish there was a world where you could just like if I could just like quit and restart as like a VTuber and be somebody totally different.
Yes.
Because I feel like I've ruined so many first impressions and I've just made so many mistakes online that are just like micro
It's so funny you say that because like
whatever
you
that I
didn't.
just wish I could start over.
You didn't, but you feel that way and it feels very real to you. But like from where I'm standing with the amount of like genuine fucking hatred and vitriol that I have,
Damn, I now see why she said the Hasan show later. Everything's a Hasan show. Because she literally just talking about her own experiences or how she wish things could be. And like, oh yeah, I hear what you're saying. But me, myself, and what I'm going through, come on, guys, let's get back to that.
I feel like yours is because you're a woman. That's
No,
it.
I've done some
Oh
stuff.
my
you haven't.
God. Holy shit. Even when he's not talking about himself, he's saying stupid shit.
Yeah, one
Shut
time
up.
I
Shut up. No.
oh wait.
No.
Wait, you gonna shut? Oh, this is so funny. She's disagreeing with him because she's taking accountability for stuff that she said or done, something that he clearly is not capable of doing. But then when she tries to explain why she did something wrong and taking accountability, he tells her to shut up. Now I can only imagine if he was reacting to her having a conversation with somebody else and another man told her to shut up and don't speak, let me, speak for you, or put these words in your mouth, or, judge or do whatever the fuck he's doing right now. I just can't help but point that out.
100. Okay, go ahead. I
nope.
didn't mean like literally shut up.
Nope,
Go ahead.
nope.
I can't.
Why you said shut up?
You just might not be built
Dumbass.
for this lifestyle. Doesn't make the job hard. Because I'm not going to lie to you, some of you content creators are brittle as and Hasan has got to be the most brittle person.
Exactly.
He's always crying and
Always
whining
bitching.
and about the fact that people are it's so unfair. People just hate me. Shut up. Oh, shut up. You're just brittle. The job's not hard. You're soft.
You're soft as fuck. And it's so fucking ridiculous because he chooses to talk about political stuff. He chooses to get in these heated arguments and debates when he can barely fucking debate. He can't debate. He chooses to do all this stuff himself because he want the notoriety. He want the money, even though he want to talk about, oh, my social cause and all this bullshit. Yeah, right. Like, you can't even stand by your basic economic cause of socialism or, not having a high accumulation of wealth within like a small percentage of the population. You don't even pay your mods who, try to keep that ridiculous fast moving chat within a sort of reasonably amount of moderation, which is very hard with all the people there and probably some bullshit debates that you do that's gonna pull in more people that are gonna talk shit. You got to make sure they don't spam crazy stuff in the chat that could get you banned or anything else like that. Like, but they don't get compensated. But I want to know how much he talks about the working class and the 1% being all over people and holding them down, all this bullshit that he talks about. I really want to know because he don't even pay his own mods and he could more than afford that. He could have afforded to pay his mods before he even blew up because of how much money his family makes. He just full of shit. I truly don't understand how somebody with a brain cell, any amount of brain cells, could watch him and be like, yeah, he makes sense. Like, come on, get it together.
That's not the same thing.
The job's not hard.
This job is not difficult. These guys are just soft. And if you look at their history of what they did as work before, not a single one of them had a truly difficult job. Not one. Hasan wanted to lie about he was in sales. Bruv, you did that for like a couple months. That was it. And then you went up to work for your fucking uncle because you're a Nepo baby. Most of these people have never had to do difficult jobs. And the ones who do generally don't find this shit hard. Asmongold did a 1.5 hour video on this topic. I cut it down a little bit to some more important parts.
Go ahead.
And we'll take a look.
Obviously, being a streamer is not very taxing physically. It's clearly not. And I think for a lot of people, it's not very taxing mentally either. I think streaming is a great job, and I would rather stream than have any other job in the world. There are obviously negatives that exist with streaming, but those negatives don't outweigh the positives. The big difference is the monetary difference between other jobs and being a streamer. Being paid a lot of money doesn't make problems go away. Being paid a lot of money makes it easier to deal with problems. There's actually studies that
Money makes the problems that you're dealing with your job at least more worthwhile to deal with because you're getting compensated fairly for the bullshit you got to do, which is a point they made in the previous video where he like twisted that up to make it seem like just because you make more money you shouldn't talk shit. There's like a balance, like with most things, if you ask me.
that have been done on this, and I can show you the graph. I'll do it now because I think people are going to disagree, because for a lot of people, and this is really the reality here, is that I'm preaching to a very tough audience, arguing my point of view, because for the majority of people that are watching me and disagreeing and getting angry, the biggest problem in their life is money. So for them, the idea that you can't, like, that money isn't the problem, well, this is going to very much upset them because they look at it from the perspective of like, well, if I had money, then this would totally solve all my problems. And I think if you work at many jobs, that's absolutely true. And I want to show that with a graph. So let me go ahead and do that. These are some graphs right here that I can show. And these are studies that have been done over the years with a number of different people. And basically what you see happening is that, especially whenever you're reaching, you know, again, into this like leading up to like $200,000 a year, more money will absolutely make you more happy. Absolutely it will, 100%. But that does not necessarily mean that more money infinitely will just make you more and more happy. And that's the perspective that I'm making. That's the point that I'm making.
That's the point I was making too. That's why you should turn your stream off. You make millions. At 200K, you'd be just as happy or close to it. Turn your stream off after 5 hours. That's the point I'm making. You have the luxury to do that.
Exactly.
See that graph? Everyone else lives on the bottom of that curve where it's fucking dog because they have complete financial insecurity.
Oh yeah, and Sherrod, I'm not sure. Asmongold, he already does this shit. Like he'll stream for like 5-6 hours at the most, and then just let it go. He'll just stop streaming because that's how long he feel like streaming, or that's how long he feel like he has something worthwhile to talk about. That doesn't make it, that doesn't make it a bad thing because it's his freedom to decide how long he wants to stream. But at the end of the day, you really can't complain really that much about how hard your job is because it's really not that hard. And he just said it is great because it is a great job with all the freedom and access and money that you can make. He exercises all these options and flexibility with his career, being a streamer, just as much as anybody or more than anybody. Of course, it's hard for me to know like every single streamer. That's impossible, and how often they take breaks or whatever. But Asmongold is one of the biggest, and he, if you ask me, he was the biggest until Kai came along and a few other newer people. Up until then, Asmongold was the biggest streamer.
They don't know if they'll ever be able to afford a house, be able to send their kids to college, be able to take vacations, be able to pay college and pay off their debt. That's where most people live. You live in the upper bracket where infinity is not in existence, but you're going to continuously be happier. Marginally with time, but still happier. So why don't you just turn off your stream and then stop dealing with all the extra stress that you're self-imposing?
If 9 hours of stuff, do half. If half of that is stuff, you're still going to be good.
Yes.
That's exactly what
And I know there's going to be people, well, you're not going to be as popular. That's not true, okay? There's plenty of streamers who take months off and they're fine. I know this. As a content creator, I take months off. I think I took 2 weeks off in February. The year before, I took a month off in like September. And then I took another month off, I think in May. I took 2 months off out of the year. Why? Because I can afford to. Why? Because I know, all right, if I keep doing this work, it's not going to be that great. So I'm going to be responsible. And because this job affords me the privilege of choosing my hours and stopping and going whenever I want, I can. And guess what? My audience is amazing. They come back. They respect it. They appreciate it. They're like, yo, if you post me there, and if you don't, take care of yourself. I respect that.
So were you saying that you're taking a break before it becomes taxing and unbearable?
Yeah. And you know what? I can. I could never do that at my old jobs.
Nope.
Yes. So I would never compare.
No, they're gonna ask questions.
Oh, yeah.
And you're gonna be on sick leave, and they're gonna ask questions.
Yeah.
That's only so what did your doctor say?
Money is such a big problem in their life that whenever they hear anybody say anything that is even adjacent to money isn't a problem, it immediately, and I'm not trying to be mean, but it unironically triggers them. And so they stop thinking about what's actually being said, and they start arguing against something that they've heard before. They get emotional about it. And I understand that. I've been in that position myself. That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I ever said. Yeah. And I don't think that that's really what Hasan was trying to say, because he was really talking about, and like also like, I don't like, because I've watched Hasan for years. I've known Hasan, I've talked to Hasan. I don't think that's really what he thinks. Now, maybe he should have said it in a way that was better, but I don't think that he thinks that. So
He
like, we can
literally
talk
said
about
it.
the way that he communicated that, and if it could have been communicated in a better way, sure. But I'm talking about like what the intent was behind the communication. These guys are right. I mean, they're right that, yeah, he did say that. I think that it was very clear in my mind that wasn't what he intended. So like,
I
we
can
can talk
only
about the
go
way
on what he said.
Exactly.
Like I cannot go on what you think he said.
Exactly. And if it was reversed, like somebody put words in Asmongold mouth that he didn't actually meant, he'll probably say like, yeah, that's not what I meant. And I meant what I said, and this is why I said it. So trying to, interpret what he said because you know him or whatever is stupid. And it just seemed like another way you're trying to do anything you can to protect or defend what he said when it's not necessary. He said something stupid. He said something that makes no sense. You already openly admitted just now that you have a great career, a great job. You make plenty of money, enough money, like I said, to open up other businesses / organizations and be successful, or at least be at a loss until they are successful. All that from streaming. And he doesn't stream fucking 10 hours a day, 12 hours a day. He don't even stream 8 hours a day. Like, come on, like it's fucking stupid.
I don't know that. I can just go about what he actually said. And what he actually said was garbaggio. That's it. And it's okay. It doesn't make you... You said that. That was a dumb take. Move on. You think that's not what he said or this and that. How am I supposed to know?
People didn't take him out of context. He just misspeaks.
That's the difference.
Those two things are not the same.
Thank you.
If you're over here, you're like, oh, I don't really like black people. And then people are like, whoa, what the fuck? And you're like, no, the context was like, growing up, there's a lot of people who happen to be black who hurt me, and I didn't like those people.
That's not the same
That's
thing.
the same thing.
Use the right words. That's your problem.
Exactly.
Don't
You're an
be mad at
adult.
people because you can't communicate and orate yourself properly.
Exactly.
If you're...
And this is it's more ridiculous too, because when Asmongold goes on the point side of this whole controversy or whatever, he makes sure he's careful about the words he chooses. He takes his time most of the time, and then he like formulates that opinion and then goes into it. So to make this whole bullshit cop for Hasan and say he really didn't meant that, or he just speaking fast, or he misspoke, whatever, it just sounds like more excuses. Like, really?
You're saying shit is out of context, but the rest of the context is in your head. It's not out of context. It's in your head.
There's what people mean, there's what
That's
people
not context.
feel, and there's what people actually say. And you said some really dumb shit. Not you specifically, but Hasan did. And then you came out and defended it very ardently based off what you thought he meant. Nobody's trying to hear that shit.
Yeah.
And I know Asmongold knows this, because a while back, he was telling game developers, I don't give a how hard this is. Nobody's trying.
Totally fucking true. Absolutely 100 fucking % true. And I said that with streaming. Absolutely. Nobody gives a fuck how you feel. And it's the same thing. Like, so you can make, and this might seem like a bit of whiplash because I'm talking about like two separate things, right? So like I can talk about like the ethical world that I think is best and that I try to live by in the cases that I can, which is trying to listen and understand how other people feel and trying to like basically compromise with people by understanding them and taking them at face value and trying to empathize with what people's perspective is. I think this is a good thing. Back over here in reality, outside of my own ethical utopia, nobody gives a fuck. Nobody gives a fuck. This is the hypocrisy.
to hear it make the fucking games.
Xavier's tweet was well-intentioned, and he went on to add a lot of important...
He made a lot of very good points. He did.
But I think it misses the perspective of the
Of course he
consumer.
did. I literally said that. And this is the thing, is developers need to stop. Like, nobody gives a fuck about, oh, it's so hard. Shut the fuck up, pussy. Stop crying. You either do it or you don't. Holy fuck. Just nobody cares about, oh, it's so hard. Oh, well, this is... Bro, if you're talking to people that work in construction, and you're going to say that it's hard, your job could be more demanding than that. I don't know. But guess what? To them, it's not.
But now when it's you guys, like, oh, we want, and you expect sympathy for what reason?
No, I don't expect it at all, and I know that I won't get it. No, he's totally right. This is a complete contradiction of what I'm saying, and that's what I was talking about before, with like how I think things should be versus how I think things are. And like, in my opinion, I find it to be problematic that people think that way, but I also know that that's true.
Which that's not even being good faith, and I mean you can see that way. I think that's being incredibly charitable to someone that you have close ties to, because I've
Exactly.
seen you not be as charitable
Exactly.
to game devs, for example,
Exactly.
or to other streamers who've complained who you
Exactly.
may not be friends with. So
Like Pokimane, I react to the same video too. Pokimane talking about the red pill, or whatever, is the reason why she's not on Twitch anymore, or not exclusively on Twitch. Bullshit. He said it's bullshit too, and he like, you know, didn't give no excuses. At least from my memory, he might have gave her an excuse. Cause I remember, nah, that might have been a different controversy. But when it came to the cookies thing and the other, I think another bullshit thing. Oh yeah, her reaction to the fans saying her cookies wasn't worthwhile. He supported the fans and he said that she's wrong for that. And he didn't like side on the thing of Pokimane or her Pokimane's opinion when it came to why she left Twitch. So Abba's absolutely right. And he probably, I would bet money, he probably watches Asmongold much less than I do. So he's absolutely right on this. It's blatant, it's obvious. You could find many clips, many videos where that's the case.
So to me, it's interesting that you extend this much charitability to Hasan, but you, like you said yourself, you have a very good relationship with him, or a strong one, and so that's why.
It's really not the same on so many levels, but anyways, I think we are saying the same thing as Asmongold. It's just that, well, no, Asmongold saying the same thing as us. The difference is just that he's saying that, well, he can read minds, and I can't.
Oh, he knows Hasan, so I think he knows how he communicates.
So he can read his mind.
Sure, or he just understands them better.
Bullshit.
You can interpret things better because you understand somebody. It's
When
like
you
when you have a
name-
child.
when you-
It's like when you have a child.
He's
You
not
have
a child.
And your child goes, "Ooh,
Hasan isn't a child. We could start treating him like a child. That's fine with me, but he's not a child. So even that's not good defense for him.
So a lot of-
my God, you want some pears and napkins, and then you want to take a nap, and after that you want to take a 2-hour walk?
Yeah,
no problem. What
Hasan-
the fuck?
Hasan's his baby boy.
No, but I like the idea of him reading minds because Asmongold sounds like a wizard name.
You know what's funny?
What's funny?
He made his career playing World of Warcraft.
See?
Yep.
Not crazy.
Yep.
That's a wizard. This motherfucker's like a paladin or
Yeah, he close.
another sorcerer or some
He
shit.
close. He plays warrior. He be dick around the warrior class. But yeah, yep. World of Warcraft, and that's how he blew up, making content on YouTube. Then started streaming and blew up and got successful from that pretty damn quickly. And I would say that's because of his personality. He's funny. He's a funny guy. So outside this like bullshit with Hasan, which is why I also don't understand why he feel the need to die on this hill. He seems to be outside this a down to earth kind of guy, even though he lives like a goblin. That's his own choices. But when it comes to other stuff, he's not like I don't know, he's just not a guy that try to shit talk people for the sake of shit talking them and say like, oh, you're poor or you're this or you're that or you're lame or this or that or any of that other bullshit.
Shit like that.
Yeah.
A necromancer. I'm just flashing
Did
shit.
you say Negromancer?
Negromancer. Hey, what up, my dead people? What's up? Rise up! New York, LA, Philly, Chicago. Everybody rise! That's Negromancer.
Dumb as hell.
I can just see that. You see the dude just bobbing in the cemetery. Yeah. And then undead just popping up. Yo, I'm not gonna lie.
New York, Miami, Frisco.
That'd be a crazy class for like some kind of voodoo undead.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Everybody right? Negromancer.
Yeah.
What's up?
Papa, what's his name?
Papa Legba. No. Baron Samedi.
Baron Samedi?
So, I mean, especially with like social media, right? Like, you have to be posting all the time. And of course you can take time off. Absolutely. But there is a risk to taking that time off. And I'm not saying that it's not a privilege to be able to do that. But what I am saying is that it doesn't come with a cost.
Man, please. That cost saying shit compared to what the average regular person has to do if they just want, take a break. You could take a break and come back to a whole chunk of fuck ton of subs, money, donations, bits, everything. If you come back, if you leave your job and you get fired or you get laid off, then you have to go through the process of trying to get another job and then have to wait at least 2 weeks or 3 weeks or 4 weeks before you get that first check, depending on the pay schedule. And if you have to wait 3 weeks or they pay weekly or anything else like that. Or if it's a private company, they only pay during certain days or certain days of every month. They don't give a fuck if it's March, June, or November. You only get paid on the 8th or you get paid on the 29th. And that's it. So you have to work around that. You don't have to worry about that much as a streamer. Of course, I don't think like you get immediate access to your money, Maybe if you get it through PayPal or something like that, but either way, it's not the same. It's not even remotely close to the same, man.
They keep streaming, and then they want to get up here and then complain about how hard it is. Who here gets to choose their fucking hours at work?
Not a lot of people.
The fact that you guys even have the goal to compare yourselves to regular people when your extra hours of labor are rewarded with more and more money is insane.
Well, I think most people get paid overtime, to be fair. Yeah, I mean, if anybody is working extra and you're not being paid for that, you're not getting paid overtime. Not salary? Oh, yeah, that's definitely true. But if you're being paid hourly, you do get paid extra.
No. Especially not if you got a salary.
When you have a job when there's some things that don't fit your description, that's overtime. It's overtime. You're not working overtime. You're just compressing more work within that time.
So you brought up the salary stuff. Yeah, salary's a thing. Most people who work salaries sometimes have to work 12-hour days and they just don't have a choice. They're just part of the game, okay? That is a thing for some people. Even at hourly jobs. You know one of the most infuriating things? Is that you can't even clock it in as overtime. But sometimes your boss is like, yo, can you handle this just before you leave? And you know that fucking work takes a good 30 minutes, but it's 10 minutes to close. So you can say no to your boss. But how do you think that shit? It'd be little things like that. When you've had a long fucking day, but you don't have a choice to opt out. You as content creators always have control over your lives in that regards when it comes to work. When you are working hourly, there's so many little things that happen just as you're about to leave work that make you stay. I'm even stay 5 minutes, y'all be pissing me the fuck off.
That'd be pissing me the fuck off
for that time.
Exactly.
5 minutes is never 5 minutes.
And it piss you off too, because if you finish all your tasks and you spend the last like 15, maybe 30 minutes of just making sure everything is good and set up and clean and ready for you to get to work tomorrow, and then the last 5 minutes they say, hey, can you do this bullshit? I'm gonna be pissed because I could have did that already and then I could have left on time, but now you want to waste more of my time. It doesn't matter if I leave at 5 or I leave at 5:30. Oh wait, I was about to say that actually it does fucking matter, and that's my whole point. I'm leaving at 5:30 when I'm supposed to get off at 5. You're taking away more time that I could have to myself and going to other endeavors, hobbies, passions, or just, chilling out, relaxing, enjoying my time away from you, my coworkers, and dealing with people that I don't want to deal with on the regular. That's another reason why I hate being asked to stay after longer if I could have already got it done, because I'm cutting into my free time. I still have to clock in at the same time tomorrow as if I was, getting off at 5. That would be annoying me. And oftentimes, if it's like a small to medium task, you're not working long enough where that overtime is going to be substantial. And I wanted to say that earlier too. Like, of course, yes, some jobs had overtime. I had multiple jobs that was overtime included. But like, come on, like even when it's like time and a half, depending on how much you get paid, even unless you're making like $100 plus $100 or $50 plus an hour, you're still not getting anywhere close to how much a streamer could make by streaming an extra 3 hours. And they could get like, maybe let's just be generous. Over 3 hours, they get like 10 more donations, and that's 3 donations an hour. And at least bare minimum, each of those damn donations, let's just say they're like $10. So you're getting $30 per hour. That's 90 over those 3 hours. Depending on what kind of job you work or how big of a streamer you are, it is infinitely more worthwhile to be streaming longer compared to working overtime at a regular job. And I only said donations. I didn't say nothing about all the extra subscribers, gifted subs, bits, all this stuff that a streamer can get. Asmongold doesn't get this stuff because he's on his second channel, but any streamer, including Hasan, because he streams on his main channel, which is monetized, clearly. Fuck, $1 million house. But like he knows this stuff. Anybody that watches Twitch for a long amount of time knows this stuff. It is blatantly obvious. It is not the same as overtime. You do not make the same amount of money. It is not quantifiable. It's not equitable. It is nowhere close. Overtime.
Just first.
No,
First
not
of
at
all,
work
can
time.
you do this shit? It's gonna take only 5 minutes. Fuck you.
Yeah.
It's never that. The second thing, what I hate the most is whenever you do overtime, is you have to proceed to do overtime mathematics.
Yeah.
Because at some point, it happened to me when I was on the phone. You do overtime for a certain amount of time because you increase your tax bracket, you end up with less money Then if you hadn't had done the overtime.
Because overtime is taxed at a different rate.
Oh
which
my
pisses
God.
you off, so you're already losing money. And
Yep.
like, I've had sales jobs, I've had military, I've had government, I've had it all. Okay, it fucking blows.
Yo.
Like you don't get compensated the same way. Like you guys get a flat rate no matter how many hours.
Exactly.
Everything is incrementally more money. That's not the case for regular people. So they're actually rewarded less for spending more time at work. What's more, you work from home. One of the greatest privileges that you guys have is you don't have to deal with long commutes like everyone else. Do you know how many people are literally dying? They are dying going to and from work because
Yup.
they have 1 to 2 hour commutes. This is not my opinion either. I'll put up the graphs and the studies, but it is actually super nefarious for people's health and their mental health to have to do those long commutes. So all those
This past week, I had to drive an hour back and forth for my job, and I can't tell you how much I hated it. That was the worst part. Not the work, the drive. Because the whole time I think like, man, fuck, I could have been here 45 minutes ago and already got started. And then when I get off, I'm like, yeah, I'm off, but fuck, I gotta drive through this rush hour traffic for 45 minutes to an hour. Nah, it's close to an hour, maybe a little bit over an hour if I'm not, full blown speeding, because there's just so many people, everybody leaving at the same time. It sucks. Nobody like driving to work. Well, most people, I would say maybe there are a few people, of course, that like doing a commute, or maybe they just like going to the office because they can focus more. But if you don't have that issue, working from home is much, much better. Saving on gas, saving on time. Oh man, I can't tell you how much I hate having to drive a long distance for almost anything, but especially for work, because I'm thinking about that drive back while I'm working.
little details play into the fact that people look at your job. And at the end of the day, this is what it is with streaming. You can frame it however you want. You can say it's hard. People are going to hear streaming and say, you get paid to play video games. What people do as a hobby, you get paid to do.
Exactly.
And they get paid millions, more than doctors, engineers,
Teachers.
pilots, government, congressmen. They get paid more to play video.
Now, this is, in my opinion, I understand it, but I, to be honest with you, I really don't respect it. I'm sorry, but I don't respect feeling that way, because it's an emotional perspective that's selfish. And I think that anybody out in the world has a right to own their own problems, and nobody else in the world has the right to take that away from them. And I really dislike this idea that because some person has it bad, they try to go out of their way to invalidate other people who have other problems that they deem less important. I think this is an incredibly toxic way of talking. It's an incredibly toxic way of looking at the world.
I'll say, we don't have the right to take away from you, but we do have the right to tell you shut the fuck up, because we ain't trying to hear that shit.
Yeah.
We have the right. The same way you can voice
Exactly.
it, we can tell you to shut the fuck up.
Exactly. And he tell people to shut the fuck up all the time. And they literally showed in the previous video, he told people to shut the fuck up, but then after he tried to explain it away. I'm not trying to hear none of that shit, because everything that he's saying, he does it too, but somehow, some way he is selfish, or is bad, or is wrong, or is toxic, all this other nonsense words. Like, come on, man. You do the exact same thing, but when it's you and Hasan saying some stupid shit, fuck that.
Let's say I have a stream and I'm complaining because my child has gastro. And I'm like, it's really frustrating that my child has gastro. It's really difficult to have to deal with, which it is, right? Like, your child being sick is not the greatest feeling. And your viewers are all people who lost their children in a recent war. Is it okay for me to be like, I don't give a fuck about the fact that your kid got gastro? When all your viewers are all, is that okay?
You're no kids.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't care about you.
Isn't it
I wish my
insensitive
kid
of
had
you
gastro.
to be complaining about your gastro kid when everybody else lost their children like permanently? Is that okay to say like, I don't really give a fuck?
I think it's okay.
I think this is similar.
But it's okay for these
Multi-millionaire with all the options and financial flexibility, time flexibility in the world, complaining about the fact that their work is tiring to people who mostly have to work shit-end jobs.
And I really dislike this idea that because some person has it bad, they try to go out of their way to invalidate other people who have other problems that they deem less important. I think this is an incredibly toxic way of talking. It's an incredibly toxic way of looking at the world. And at the end of the day, I think that we're all very privileged in a lot of cases. That's why we're sitting on here with high-speed internet, probably in most of the cases, air-conditioned houses in a first-world country in many cases as well, according to my analytics, having conversations about this kind of stuff. We are all incredibly privileged, at least according to many other people in the world. I think this is the case with everybody's job. And you see this all the time on the internet.
because you're well compensated, extremely well compensated for the level of difficulty of your job. And this is how most people internalize this and whether or not they want to hear about your suffering. How difficult is your job? How well do you get compensated for it? If your job is extremely difficult and hard to manage, but you get paid peanuts, complain as you want.
I don't think so. I think that actually I don't agree with that, because if you look at, for example, like culturally, I think that culturally people definitely look down on construction workers. They look down on sanitation workers. Absolutely, that's true. And they get paid shit.
Well, I was, at least for me, I would say only really dumb people look down on those people. If you have any sense of awareness, you would know that these people are vital for society to function. Like, if people don't pick up the trash, you people will lose your mind. If you don't have plumbers, if you don't have electricians, if you don't have all these jobs, vital jobs, careers, if you really think about it, depending on what you do, that is vital to the integration or the continuation of society, so you can enjoy the comforts that you do enjoy. If you really some person that like looks down on people that doing sanitation or people that, do garbage or pick up your garbage, I think there's really something wrong with you, especially if you would never do that job yourself because, oh, it's too hot, it's too cold, I'm gonna get all sweaty, it stings, I don't want people to see me. Like, you're part of the problem with society. Maybe not completely, but that mindset is part of the problem with society. The type of stuff that we think is, I don't know, honorable or worthwhile. Meanwhile, people that actually keep our, country, our society together, the comforts that you enjoy every single day and don't think about, you want to shit on them because of what they do. Even though it sustains you and supports you and help you live your life. I don't know, it just sounds very stupid to me. It really does. You need these people. Show them some respect. They're a human being just like you, dumbass.
The fuck gets paid shit?
He doesn't know.
No. Who the fuck? Construction workers get paid shit?
They definitely don't get paid shit. But he just might not know. So if we're being charitable, he would have just chosen another job that doesn't get paid well. He just doesn't know. But they definitely don't get paid well. You should know better.
Nigga.
To be fair, I didn't know this, but a lot of garbage men are apparently paid really well.
Yeah, better than teachers.
Okay. Hey, listen. It's not too many people willing to pick up garbage for a living, so I admit it.
Well, not a lot of people are willing to teach kids. Anyways, carry on.
There's a lot of people willing to teach kids.
A lot less.
Today. But there's still way more people who
People that
want
wanna
to teach kids.
Concur.
I don't care what nobody says. Try dating a girl, be like, I'm a garbage man. God bless your soul. You know what? I don't even think garbage men tell the truth about what they do for work when they date. I don't think you can. I don't think you can say that because there's no way socially that's
every garbage man says they're the driver.
Yeah.
It's just a sad thing with our society because, like I just said, those people sustain us. We need them for us to live our lives. But at the same time, we'll uphold celebrities that really don't do shit besides act or sing or dance or rap and put them on the pedestal. Like, come on, man. It just, our society is very backwards in a lot of different ways. The type of stuff that we put on the pedestal, the type of stuff we'll put our money or attention and time to, we'll watch like celebrity bullshit drama and be invested. Well, I don't know why I said we, because I don't watch that bullshit. Other people within our world, our society, will get invested in type of nonsense and get all angry and pick a side, even though neither of these celebrities, like for example Cardi B and Nicki Minaj, neither one of those women know their fans who be in the comments retweeting, arguing with other people of the opposite fandom. I don't get it, but that's the type of stuff we choose to care about. It's very weird and backwards.
I'm not in the back chucking that shit. I'm driving that bitch. He's not. He's not.
So what do you think he would say when he's being asked? What do you do for work? What do they say?
I'm supervisor of sanitation.
Yo, all the garbage men. I need to see y'all in the comments. I'm actually mad curious. What y'all say when y'all be on these dates?
I'm supervisor of sanitation. I work for the city, which you could.
I work for the city.
I work for the city.
I work for the city.
Yeah, whenever you do a comedy show and people tell you, I work for the city, what do? City, you're a cop.
Yes.
You're a cop or you pick up the garbage. Both.
This is what I'll end on this whole conversation. Can YouTube or content creation be difficult? Yes?
Yes.
But it's as difficult as you make it. And therein lies the whole crux of this whole topic. It's as difficult as you choose to make it. And if you want to ratchet up the difficulty to the ultimate percent to get the maximum amount reward, go right ahead. Just don't cry about it afterwards because you're well compensated for it. Content creation is not hard. It's many things. It could be time. Yup, go ahead.
Time consuming. It could be emotionally draining if you don't go into the comments. It can be time consuming running out here.
It could rid you of a lot of your privacy.
Yeah.
Fair.
Depending on how you manage it, but sometimes, yeah, no, fair. Yeah.
Content creators, stop comparing it to regular jobs. You look stupid.
That's the bottom line.
Anything else?
No.
All right, guys, you can complain about your problems. Leave regular people out of it.
Yep, I agree completely. So overall, it's just doubling down on what I said in the previous video, just like they are. You can complain all you want, but it really means nothing. You're complaining about having to stream and make millions of dollars and stream whenever you want for as long as you want, control the people you interact with. Like, you don't even have to see the chat if you want to. You could put it in emote only. Of course, people might not want to view it as much, but you have that option. I can't just put up a wall by my desk and say, hey, don't talk to me. I'm gonna get fired. So like I just don't get it. It just feels very dumb to have something to argue about this thing. It's not even close to being a hard job, or not even close to being like a regular job. Like, you have so many privileges, so much freedom, so much money. Oh. But it is what it is, man. This is his take on things, and I don't agree with every single thing he says when he streams. Most times I do, but this is something I disagree with. Doesn't make him a bad person. It doesn't mean I'm gonna stop watching him. It just means I disagree with this take. So as long as he's still entertaining, as long as he's not just, constantly saying bullshit and stupid shit all the time, then I'm gonna keep watching him. Just, one difference of opinion, or even, multiple differences of opinion, doesn't mean he's a bad person or I don't want to watch him anymore. At least not yet. And if I didn't want to watch him more, that's all the power to me. Just the same he has the power to not stream if he doesn't want to deal with us. And by us, I mean viewers, the public, whoever you may be. But let me know what you think in the comments down below. It's your boy Logos. Like, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you next time. Peace.